Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome. TDD Tuesdays. And it looks like we are live. So, let me share this out. Where's the... How do I share it? This. Okay. So, music today, courtesy of this random YouTube video. Brutal dubstep, back from 2016, throwback, but it's copyright free, so that's why I'm using this for this live stream. Meetup. Here we are, these 3 events here, all happening right now. I think I have them open. Of course, if you aren't following us, join our group, ETH Builders NYC. Also NYC Ethereum. Cool stuff happening there. Alright, so the live stream here. Okay? Ken isn't here to run the Zoom call today, but you can join the live stream here. You know what I even like to do is just message each person individually like a total creep. Okay, this one I wanted to say here in the general. Trying something different today. Come on. Alright. Hey, Victor. But you can join the live stream. I don't know what this is, but sorry. Little song. No song. Living. Oh, sometimes it's funny to look at how they answered the questions. What topics in DeFi interest you? TDD. Ken made these questions, by the way, too. What's your experience level with DeFi? 0. What's your GitHub? Oh man, he doesn't even have a GitHub. Okay. Bangalore. It's cool though. Everybody is welcome. Probably will make fun of them. What is topics? Okay, DEX is decentralized exchange is 1 year experience. Okay, that's something. T-Hub. What's T-Hub? Oh, he even goes right to the DAP. That's cool. Okay, give it a little star. The Blick Man, into the Blick Man. Dang, this guy doesn't even have any followers. Man, I feel bad. Alright. That's me. Okay. Trying to live stream here. Okay. Let's see who said they were attending today. Basically just me, Ted, and these two guys.
Quack, quack.
But I don't get to see their answers to the questions, I guess. Man, I can move someone over to not going, that's funny. I'm doing a Zoom call today, but you can join a live stream here, okay? Okay, we're there, almost. Oh, we have another one. Yeah, these kittens go hard though. What am I looking for again? I thought I commented in these, I don't see any. Alright, Henry, Lawrence, and Dev, I guess we can. Ancoin, okay, interesting. Lawrence, LA. QO. By the way, Pop. I got Pop open here. If you want to add me, copy this link, paste it in, add me as a contact, and we can pair program. You can even join in right now if you want to. Okay, man. This is me. Hello. One more. Okay. That was a lot. I think we're ready to start pretty much. Let's close out these tabs. And we'll get right started into it. Striker, I know I mentioned this before. This is a really cool thing that allows you in a way to test your unit tests. Supported JavaScript, C#, and Scala, which are both obviously kind of shitty in comparison, and even supports TypeScript, so that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna show you some stuff with that today. Just wanted to shout out to our sponsors. This company that makes SpongeBob themed fish tank accessories. Those are one of our sponsors, so if you would like to purchase one of these, you can do that on the NYC Ethereum website. Also, I just got these great shoes, amazing shoes, Nano X1. They're almost like working out, like CrossFit shoes. You can use it for weightlifting, you're running, or just standing. So comfortable. And even though it's black colors, I can get them discounted at the Atlantic City outlet store right here. I mean, like $60 maybe you can get them for. They're like $130, so if you guys want any, let me know. I can buy them, send them to you, we'll work it out. But definitely need to have good shoes on when you're coding. Okay. This is something that doesn't matter. Okay, so this React NTD example is the one I was talking about, and I honestly don't even think I have it cloned here. Okay, let's go into that folder. NVM use, I think I was using. No. I'm just gonna use, what's my default? Wow, going too fast. 15? I guess that'll work. Okay, so what is this? Let's just do npm start and try to... Okay, right, I need to install everything first. While that's going, I'll just open up a new little tab here and get VS Code open. So, this is a React project. I got our app, right? App.js. This is a JavaScript React project, right? These are the mutation testing output reports. This is public folder just for putting images and things like that. Index HTML. Okay, now let's try our npm start command. Okay, so starting up. Okay, and it's basically just a little React, create React app project that we have here. if you look at the package.json, we have some different scripts, right? So npm test, this just runs our unit tests, right? And this is using Jest here. Looks like we just have one test here, app test. Checking that it has this link with the text learn React, right? And that's basically this here. Okay, so that's interesting, right? But it seems to me, at least, like we have some other things here. We have the edit text, we have the image, logo. So to me, I would think that our code coverage things and mutation testing should be pointing that out, right? So I like to make something called maybe like test like coverage. I think if I do this, and we have to say npm run test cov. Okay, maybe that didn't work. And so here it's showing us a file with 0 statements, and I think this is kind of just a limitation of JSX. And well, you see, it might just not be properly set up to look at the files here, because it's not showing any files at all, which is kind of weird. But we also have this TDD, which is running this striker, so we can say npm run. Alright, does this little thing. Okay. So I have this whole striker report. Alright, killed, survived, timeout, error, solo detected. But the odd thing to me is that, you know, this is like, when it's it's supposed to go through each line of your code, mutate it, make sure that your unit tests aren't still passing, right? And so it's saying the only mutator that it did is take this whole block of code and replace it with just empty brackets. So all this stuff, it just made app completely empty. And it probably ran it and it found the one test about this here. So I don't really like that, and that's even open issue, I think. Right, so possibility to mutate string nodes in JSX TSX. And this guy's basically describing this problem like, look, everything is passing, it says 100%. And then commented, hey, that's a good idea, but nothing really happened with it. So, but it is a cool thing, you know, maybe not for testing your JSX per se, but definitely other kind of more just logic JavaScript helper functions. I think it's really nice to have this striker kind of way of, you know, testing your tests, and then it really just makes sure that you have those assertions there, right? Checking everything, and not that you're just hitting the lines of code, but you're actually asserting that things are supposed to be the way that they are, so that there's no ambiguity. It's just everything as it's supposed to be. So I think it's cool. Would like to use that more, but it is like kind of a pain in the ass to set up properly with your project, so I feel like that is something that's probably holding a lot of other people back when using it, but it's open source stuff, so possibly I could get involved, we could get involved, and, you know, help push it forward, because I think it is pretty awesome. I would like to see something like that for Rust and other languages too. I know there's something in Rust, but maybe if there was Striker versus that, it would kind of force them to compete against each other and make a bunch of cool shit. Okay. What else we got? Okay, so this is Jim's Dev Express NG demo, right? So I basically interviewed at this like shitty startup, and probably shouldn't call them shitty because they didn't technically decline me a job yet. But anyway, they were like, hey, we're building these dashboard type projects with Angular, and we use Dev Express, some like random JavaScript library for different components. And so I was like, yeah, I can do it, you know. And I wasn't really sure. I was also just kind of curious how Dev Express was as an API and performance and things like that, because I have used a lot of other charting and component libraries, and I never heard of it, so I made these random little charts, right? This is an area chart where web development, so I've been doing web development since around 2013, when I started way back building, you know, the web was in Adobe Flash, ActionScript 3, right, and your backends were in either some like Java or LAMP stack or PHP or something like that, right? But then around maybe 2015, you know, 2 years in, I kind of realized that Flash was dying out, you know, iPhones and all this stuff. And I started getting into TypeScript. I was like, wow, strong typing. This is basically ActionScript 3, but with CSS, and like, it doesn't suck. Yeah. And then Angular, right? Started using Angular pretty early on. It was basically either jQuery or just like hate your life. And then AngularJS, I took this AngularJS like boot camp, 8-week boot camp thing. It was just like once a day per week, like $2,000. You know, and it was good actually. Learned a lot. It was just like questions because I was starting this new job where I was basically the only coder building out AngularJS things. So like, it was good to have them there in case I just got totally stuck, which I did a few times because like the AngularJS syntax was just like, man, it was just confusing and not very easy to use and remember, like the directive syntax and all these weird things, but it's okay. We don't need to worry about that anymore. This is a pie chart, right? Donut chart. These are good for showing like percentages. So 99.999%. The chance that hiring Jim will be a great decision. And there's a 0.001% chance of hiring Jim not being a good choice. And this is just an example of getting data from an API call. So this is the USA total population for different years. Just calling some free API that I don't need an API key, just something easy to get some data and show that I can throw that into a chart. A little link back to my page. Oh, this is my link tree with a bunch of different things you can check out. And it also looks pretty nice on mobile too, right? Nice and responsive. Smaller than this. I don't know if I can go smaller than this. There. I mean, once you get like ridiculously small, then it's just, this is I mean, maybe like 250, 300 pixels is the smallest you really need to support. Probably could do something better with these in the very small screens, but that's some optimization, right? And that should be just CSS, hopefully. And this one I also had here somewhere. Maybe not. That's the React example. Yep, here it is. Okay. And I think this is the wrong part.
Purina 1. We switched and wow.
4200.
Natural
Okay.
nutrition is helping support Charlie's strong immune system and Ginger's healthy heart.
See differences today and for a lifetime. Purina 1, a difference from day one.
Okay, and yep, all these same things, pretty much just running it on localhost now. Did I add anything cool here? Right, so I have npm test. This is running things on my Chrome headless browser. So right in the terminal here. Do have a few tests here, it looks like. So for each of these components, well, this is the API call. It's a little bit trickier, but coding experience, I basically just have a variable on my component population data, and I'm calling this service helper function to actually get that populated data. Right, and then my types is the types that I'm using for this chart. Right, so it's an area chart, stacked area, a full stacked area. And then I'm putting this data service right in next to all these component files because it's really only meant to be used by this component, so that makes sense to me. And I'm setting a class here. Really, this could be a type also, I think. And we really don't need to have quotes for this if it's just like the key of a object here. And then we have this big array of data points. Each one has all these fields and then a value, right? And of course we're using this Angular world. We want it to work with the dependency injection of Angular, so we just add this injectable decorator. We need to make this class wrapper for our function, which I know it's kind of gross, but yeah. Okay, and here well, here I'm not really doing anything. But really, what I would check here is that this population data variable gets set to whatever service get population data return. So here in our test, population data function returns. And you know, it's so easy. I forget mock. How to mock a service function in Angular component. See, this is like something that's been done so many times that it's like a well-beaten path. top toolbar service has a function called getCustomer. And this is basically exactly what we need. So this is mock coding experiences data service. Okay, const these up. Sorry, just the first one we're making a and we name this get population data. Okay. So what's the type that it returns? It's a type population, so I'm even going to set a const and call this mock return value. Just set it to some random year. Okay, now we want to have this return our mock return value. Then, okay, in our testbed configuration here, we can say providers. Let's add a comma here. And the service that we want to provide is the code experience data service. We can import it. And we want to use the mock coding experiences data service. See how easy that is? And now, when we're testing the coding experiences component, it will inject in here the mock one for our tests. So we can then expect that our component.population data is equal to this mock return value. Possibly comparing arrays will give us some problems here, but let's see. Okay, so we got a failure here. So, to me it looks like 2012 is equal 29.1. That it's not actually using the mock. Okay, population data. Or do we need to say to deep equal? Maybe it's because I'm declaring it here. The real one. Oh, this is the one that I'm testing. Never mind, we need that. But potentially, we need to do the providers first. A little janky. Angular's a little janky. That's why a lot of people don't like it, but still doesn't work. Okay. Maybe this is old syntax. I don't know. Honestly, I don't care that much about this, so let's just close it down. Okay. Oh man. Thanks for stopping by, guys. We're not done yet, don't worry, but just wanted to shout out to these cookies, granola things that I've been making. Seeds, banana, maple syrup, honey, raw, vegan. I actually cooked them in a dehydrator, so I think they are technically raw. I mean, not all the ingredients are raw, but yeah, they're pretty good though.
Shop signature collections of jackets, jewelry, artwork, furniture, rugs, and more, all from independent sellers. Etsy has it. For you. For all budgets. For any occasion.
Commercials, yeah.
Etsy.com today.
Okay. This is the thing. This is the thing I want to talk about. Comp 42. Comp 42. Is a conference. Actually, I have lots of different conferences. Quantum computing. But there's one about Rust. And you know, I'm trying to get a job, honestly. I have like 10 years experience coding and was laid off maybe like 9-10 months ago and still haven't gotten a job yet. And I mean, I'm rich and don't have any that much expenses, and I've kind of started other things, but I am really trying to get a job again. And it's like kind of crazy that me, you know, god level coder is still struggling to get a job in this weird market. So don't feel bad if it's tough for you. You know, keep pushing and you'll get something. I would say just lower your expectations, right? If you were making 200k before and you don't have a job now, expect like 150, you know, maybe 140, and just climb back up from there once you get it. But anyway, so I submitted a talk to this and it actually got accepted, and now I'm like the very first thing here on the website. which is pretty cool. But I'm a little bit nervous that like people are going to be expecting a lot. But who cares, right? But actually the thing is pretty cool, I think, the project that I made. So it's called Rust CLI Exercises. And each one is a little Rust project that I just created using Cargo New, pretty much. So it's a little command line application, right? You just run it through the terminal, and they all have a README, which just, has the title, a little one-liner description, kind of a backstory of why this is like a good challenge to do, or how it's somehow relevant to some possible real life situation. Then the exercise, right, the actual challenge of what you're supposed to do. Then tests, right? So this is one, just a way to learn how to write Rust code that works and compiles, but also gives you a chance to practice writing unit tests for that code, right? And writing unit tests is hard too, right? And sometimes it's nice to just start at the super basic foundational fundamental functions and write tests for them, because once you get thrown into a real world project, it can be pretty overwhelming, and you end up just taking shortcuts, and it's like becomes this giant monster thing that you're just too afraid to test. So you want to start small and build the tests as you go, try to make good habits, right? And so I have 20 actually of these different little challenge problems. And honestly, if you guys have ideas for more, that would be awesome. Open up some issues or reach out to me somehow, and we'll try to get them in. But maybe like Fibonacci. So somewhere in here there's a link to my Rust CLI examples, which are my solutions to these. So let's see, maybe this Fibonacci one. Okay, this is nothing, this is just empty. I think the apology letter is better. Okay, so this is in the test folder is like an integration test. So this is overall loading our binary called apology letter. We're basically executing it, or passing in 2 arguments, positional arguments. Right, assert that it finished without an error, and then asserting Well, first we're reading the file content, so example output txt. So we're reading that into a variable. Then if it fails, it will basically throw this error message, could not read file. Otherwise, we're going to take this file content and compare it to this expected output. Fancy letterhead, and that's the idea, is that so it takes this input file, dear recipient name, how deeply sorry I am for thing you did. Sincerely, your friend James. Okay. And then we can say cargo run, dear Bob, sorry for eating all the chips. Okay, it's gonna compile it. It's gonna run. And it finished. So then we look at our example output and we see that it changed the text in here. Dear Bob, like to express how very deeply sorry I am for eating all the chips. Okay. Now let's see the... Okay, so I have some comments up here, just kind of explaining things for people. Loading in these other files that I have. This is the main, so this kind of does everything. First we read the positional arguments. That's in another function here, which there's no test for this, but this is like kind of just purely a third-party function, right? And you might say maybe you want to mock this, expect that CLI parse was called, but then, I don't know, some people might argue that you don't mock what you don't own, right? Because it's a third-party thing. They might change the name of that function in a later version, and now your tests break, and it just like causes headache and more problems than it actually helps. So, yeah. So that's why there's no unit test for this. This file manager, basically a function, two functions that just do like purely side effects. You know, this one is reading, takes a, basically just reads this hard-coded file path and returns the contents as a string. And then the other one does kind of the opposite. So it takes a string, it writes that to the file, replacing all the document text, and returns it as a result because it can fail. So if it's all good, we're returning this OK variant, but the question mark here kind of bubbles that out. So if it does fail, then we return that as just a standard error. Okay. Then placeholder replacer. Okay, this I would say is actually the main logic of the whole project. And this function replace So what's happening here? We basically get the lines of the file as a vector. Then we loop through each line, and we say get replace line, which is basically asking, does it contain recipient name placeholder, which is, just the placeholder text. And if it does, replace that with the actual value. And then we do the same thing for what you did placeholder. If the line contains it, then we're replacing it. And I have this function called replace string with string, because it's kind of, like really granular, getting the index of the first character of the placeholder and the last character, and then chopping the string up, and then concatenating all the things at the end here, and then returning that. Okay, so kind of a lot. I mean, almost 50 lines of code just to like replace some strings, but I think it all makes sense. And then I have some tests here where the mock input is A and B, and we just set up some fake strings here that have the placeholders in them, and we want to make sure that it replaces these things. So just setting up some other fake strings, running it through the function, and then expecting that it returned these correct ones. Okay, so this would be unit tests. This would be integration tests. And then, you can also manually test, which is just running it yourself, right? And that's coding, basically. And we can go through and make all of those different kind of tests and implementation for all these different projects. You can see I didn't even get through all 20 of them. Kind of got hung up on trying to test things that take inquire, the one that kind of waits for you to text input into type input, but it's okay, we'll get there. And hopefully I can get there soon, because this talk, it would be nice for me to have a lot of good examples for people to use and look at. But I think at least just getting the readmes of the examples or the exercises repo polished and ready to go. Exercises. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like Rust. I like the fact that the borrow checker makes just your code automatically super efficient and able to be optimized when it's compiled. And it just makes you have to be really explicit about things that are constant, or things that are being mutated, or things that are being reused later. there's some things, honestly, I feel like I don't really like traits. I feel like it's just a weird OOP kind of thing that we didn't need. We could have just had functions and data and call it a day, but traits are a thing too. Yeah. So, I'm tired. And I'm by myself too. I don't even know if anyone's here, but alright, Cody, trolling. Alright, I guess it's better than nothing, maybe. But, anyway, I'm calling it. Thanks everybody for checking this out, and I'll see you next time.